Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Ashton. I'm the founder of Active Solutions AI, where we build what's arguably the most sophisticated conversational AI on the market. What I want to do in this video is actually one of our biggest things is we want to provide enterprise solutions to small businesses, right? And we want to make them attainable, affordable, all the above. One of the most useful things in my business personally, and a lot of my clients' businesses, is GoHighLevel and lead management in general. So one of the things I want to go over, I just want to break down how to effectively automate the lead generation portion of your business and lead management, not necessarily lead generation. However, I have a few videos on that already, and I will continue to make more in the future on lead generation specifically. But what I want to do is kind of walk through exactly how we've been able to automate our sales pipeline and make it very seamless, especially when we start to bring on employees. But even for ourselves, whenever I started my company in the beginning, I did everything. I did all of the outreach, I did all of the fulfillment, I did all of the sales calls, etc. So I know what it's like to start out as a one-man show and kind of run everything yourself, but you need to make sure that you have the foundation set in the beginning, because as you continue to grow and expand, if you don't have a foundation, then everything is going to be very easy to break as you continue to grow, and you're going to keep reaching these ceilings where everything falls apart, and then you have to rebuild it before you can get to the next ceiling. So that is what I want to help you avoid. Let's go ahead and dive in. I'm going to go ahead and break down exactly what we're going to be covering in this video. I'm going to try to make it as informational as possible as well. So how to automate your entire business with GoHighLevel in 2024. So a few things we're going to go over. Number one, connecting lead sources and making sure that they're integrated to GoHighLevel. You want to make sure that we don't want to go back to pre-2015 when we were zapping everything into a spreadsheet. We want to have a CRM. There's a reason we have a CRM. We want the leads to pipeline directly into the CRM exactly how we want them to without us having to do anything with it, okay? Technically, when you're zapping them into a spreadsheet, it's still automated, but we want to make it even better. Number two would be creating and updating opportunities so that they automatically move throughout your sales pipeline. Creating nurture cadences, whether that's when a lead comes in or when appointment reminders, all that good stuff. Direct calendar redirects to make sure that your appointment booking process is user-friendly. And then, oh, look at that, appointment reminders for number 5. So we're going to go ahead and dive into all of this. I've created an account from scratch just so that I can actually build everything out, and it makes it easy for everybody that's watching this video. So let's go ahead and dive in. All right, so step number 1, have a GoHighLevel. Probably should have started with that, but so GoHighLevel, there's obviously two, I guess it's not obvious to everybody, but there are two portions of a GoHighLevel account. Number 1 is the agency admin level, and then number 2 is the sub account level. So whether or not you are an agency admin of your agency account or whatever it might be, you're going to need to have a sub account level for your business or your clients' businesses. So I'm just going to assume that you have a sub account at this point in time. So let's go to settings first, all right? And let's just assume that we already have a lead generation platform. So my favorite is Facebook advertising. Some people use TikTok, some people do cold outreach, whatever it might be. But if you are using an advertising platform, you're going to want to go to integrations in the settings, and you're going to see that you have the option to connect your Facebook. You have the option to connect LinkedIn, TikTok, etc. Once you go in here and you connect it, so you're going to click this and it's going to ask you to integrate everything. I'm not actually going to go through this entire process, but you'll have Facebook form fields mapping. Actually, let me go to one of my existing accounts really quick just to show you what it looks like. Okay, so here we are. Once you've integrated it accordingly, what you're going to do is, number 1, it's going to ask you to log into your Facebook, and I'm just going to use Facebook as an example. It'll do the exact same thing with TikTok or LinkedIn. You're going to log in, and then you're going to select the Facebook page that is integrated directly with this. The lead forms are, well, in Facebook specifically, they're connected to, or they are a part of the Facebook page itself, not the ad account. A lot of people think that they're connected to the ad account. They're not. They're specific to a Facebook page. So once you select the page, you're going to have all of the Facebook lead forms that are associated with that page specifically. We have lots of them. Then you're going to turn this status thing on. It's going to ask you to map the fields. So for example, you want to map full name with full name, phone number with phone number, email with email. Here, I was just too lazy to create custom fields and actually map them to the questions that we have on the form. So I use city and state, but do not let that confuse you. All right, let's go back over to the other account. All right, so step 1, connect your ad platform. Number 2, we need a pipeline. We cannot do anything without a pipeline. This is going to be on the left side. You're going to go down to opportunities, click that, and we're going to create a pipeline here. Now, I like to call mine and my clients is lead generation. Now, a pipeline is basically something where you can break down different steps of a sales process. So let's just say, for example, that when a new lead comes in, right, they become a new lead, right? Let's say they're in a new lead section of that pipeline, and that's what we call a pipeline stage. Now, I'm going to break this down again as well once we actually build these out. But then let's say someone books an appointment, and now they're in a new pipeline stage called appointment booked or intro call booked or demo booked, right? And then let's say we close the deal, and they're in a new pipeline stage called deal closed. In my opinion, when you're utilizing this for acquisition or lead generation, you want your pipelines and your pipeline stages to organize organize where your leads are in the pipeline. So you know who you need to follow up with, who the priority dials are, etc. Now I'm going to show you exactly how I put this together and how I create the automations that are associated with all these as well. So I call this lead generation. Number one, we're going to call new lead, right? So that's going to be stage number one. We're going to add another stage and it's going to be called, just follow this process here as well. If this makes no sense whatsoever to you, that's completely fine. It's going to, I'm very over descriptive as I explain how to do things. So I'll do my best to make sure that you understand it by the end of this video. So what we have is new lead, hot leads, intro call booked, demo booked, no show, closed, lost sale. All right, so let's go ahead and save this bad boy. All right, and now we have our pipeline. And if we go to opportunities up here in the top left corner, we can see the multiple stages. We don't have any contacts in here yet, but let's just say we did have a contact, right? So let's say I create a new contact and we name him Test. Test is a really nice guy. And we're gonna put a phone number in here. And I'm gonna scroll down and I'm gonna create a new opportunity with Mr. Test. Now, all of this is gonna be automated and I'm gonna show you how to do that as well. But just to give you an example of what it's gonna look like. So lead generation, new lead, perfect. We're gonna create that opportunity. And now when we go back to the opportunities section, you're gonna see Mr. Let me change these filters up. I just didn't give it enough time to load. So if you look in new lead now, we have one opportunity, which is Test. And as this lead starts making it through our sales pipeline and becomes a hot lead, right? And then maybe becomes a intro call booked, and then a demo call booked, and then a no-show booked, we're gonna, number one, know exactly where this person is at in our sales pipeline. And number two, we are gonna know exactly, let me get him back to, let's move them here. We're going to have automations associated with each of these pipeline stages so that specific things can happen without us having to do it manually, okay? So this is a pipeline. These are pipeline stages. Now we want certain things to happen, right? Whenever they enter these stages. So we're going to go ahead and dive into that as well. We're going to go to automations, all right? And we're going to let's create a folder first. And we're just going to make this super organized. Folder name is going to be pipeline lead generation, all right? We keep things tight and organized around here. And we're going to create a new workflow. All right, and we're going to call this new lead. And you guys, this is probably going to catch on here in a second. Okay. Now let's say your main advertising channel is Facebook, right? So Facebook lead form is submitted is going to be the trigger here. With these workflow sections, there are triggers and then there are actions that happen after the triggers. So the triggers trigger the actions to occur, if that makes sense. So Facebook lead form gets submitted, right? Because we're running paid ads actively. This is just a fake wild scenario that I have created. It doesn't mean that you actually are, but Facebook lead form gets submitted. And then step number one, what's going to happen is we're going to create an opportunity. In pipeline lead generation, in new lead, opportunity name, you're going to click this little tag. And these are custom fields that are automatically created so that you can populate certain types of information without you having to do it manually. So for example, if I go contact full name right here, what's going to happen is I'm going to go ahead and save this. Let's go create new lead was what we're going to name this. And I'm going to save this. And now what's going to happen is Facebook lead form is going to get submitted, right? So someone's going to submit their name, email, and phone number expressing interest on whatever offer that you have. And they're going to come into the system and new lead is going to be created. And the name of that opportunity card in the pipeline that we created, right? Instead of it being Test, the fake opportunity that we created, an actual opportunity is going to come in. The name of that opportunity is going to be their name. And it's going to populate the information automatically, okay? And then let's say another automation that's associated with this is an SMS. So we want to send a text message to that person and we want to say, hey, contact first name, exclamation point, because we like to be excited. Everybody wants to know that we're happy. Us being happy makes other people happy. Hey, contact first name. So it's going to be like, hey, Joe, just saw your info come in. Just wanted to see what your, and let's just say it's a gym, main fitness goal was. Right? So that is what's going to happen with new lead. And let's just say they never respond and they just stay in this new lead pipeline. We don't want to just send one message and quit, right? We want to have a wait period and we're going to put a time delay. Actually, let's do this. We're going to wait for a contact reply and we're going to wait for it to reply to the first SMS. Okay. And we're going to have a timeout period that is 1 day. So that means we're going to wait for a reply for 1 day. If the contact replies, then we have a different scenario that can occur here, right? But if they don't reply is what we're really worried about more. So if they don't reply, we want another follow-up message and we can make this as long as we want to. And I'm not going to type this second message, but this should give you the point. So now we're reaching out to the person and if they don't reply, we're continuing to follow up because this is crucial. And then you can trigger a certain action like whenever the contact does reply. And what we would do here is move them to hot lead. So if let's just say contact replies, I actually like to do this a separate way. So I'm not going to do it here, but you could do it here. Let's just say the contact replies, you wanted to send a message or add an additional trigger, you could. In my case, I'm not going to, because what I would rather do is create a new workflow. And then we're going to go here and I'm going to call this hot lead. right? And trigger is going to be contact reply. Get out of here. Actually, let's see. Customer replied. That's what it is. And then we're going to go channel is SMS because we mainly use SMS channels. So reply channel is SMS. You could really do anything though. And what's going to happen is we're going to add a tag. We're going to add a contact tag called hot lead because the person responded. Now, tags are a different story. Tags you can add to individuals. It helps you kind of organize your pipeline as well. I like to keep things organized, like I said. So we're going to name this hot lead. The reason why you want to keep it organized is because I'm guessing anybody who's running a business and watching this, you probably want to grow your business to like a decent place, right? You don't want to just be a one-man show. So if you focus on the little things in the beginning, the foundational aspects in organizing your pipelines, organizing your accounts, creating SOPs, whenever you start bringing people on board, whether they're virtual assistants or employees or salespeople, etc., you want them to be able to follow processes. Like it should be spelled out and things should be named. Like hot lead, like in this workflow, for example, is a dumb example, but it's how things should be spelled out when you bring new people on board. So stuff isn't hard to understand. You want the learning curve to be as small as possible as you're continuing to grow your business. So next one is going to be, we're going to create an opportunity and we're going to go lead generation, in pipeline stage, hot leads, opportunity name. We're always going to use full name custom value here. One of the issues that we'll run into, I'll explain exactly why we do this, is because if you don't put the full name there, when it updates the opportunity, it might create a new contact or it might just remove the name from the opportunity altogether. I've seen it happen a couple of times, not all the time, but I always put the contact name as the opportunity name just to be safe so we don't get any bugs. All right, perfect. And this is going to be called hot lead. Beautiful. This is number 2. All right, hopefully this is making sense to some people. Now I'm gonna do one more just to give you an idea. And then, so let's, actually this one we can do a little bit differently. So we're gonna go from a recipe, okay? And we're gonna find the appointment scheduled because the next one is the intro call booked. So we're gonna find, and it's cool that they actually put these templates in here. So we're gonna go recipe, appointment booking, bingo, bango. Got it, okay, cool. Perfect. We're going to leave this here. Okay. So we have the, actually, let's name it intro call booked. Now, the reason why I do intro and demo is because we do a 2-step process. At least we'd like to in the beginning. I think whenever you're getting accustomed to a sales process, especially when you're doing some type of lead generation, which I think every business should be in some way, shape, or form, it's when you're starting out, it's easier to go intro call to demo call to get accustomed to what the process should look like. Because everybody should, whether it's a Zoom virtual call or someone coming into your facility, in my opinion, everybody should have a phone call prior to qualify, build rapport, whatever it might be. So you can eventually remove the layer of the intro call and shorten the sales cycle and just have the demo or the in-person consultation, whatever it might be. But you still want to have a systemized process to get that person on the phone, whether that means dialing the crap out of their phone or whatever it might be. All right, so we're going to call this intro call. And then what we also need for this to occur and actually be possible is for this to save first. All right, there we go. Wonderful. And then we're going to go to settings. And we're going to go to calendars and we're going to go to create calendar and we're going to go to round robin. I love round robin calendars because you get to create or assign team members to the calendar. In this case, let's just create a different type of calendar because I don't have a team member yet. Give me 1 second. All right, just because it won't let me do it without a team member, we're going to go to my staff and we're going to create an employee. So we're going to create Mr. Tess Johnson. Great guy, 3 kids. Here, and then we're going to skip out. Don't need a phone. All right, beautiful. All right, now we're going to go back to calendars. Maybe someone needed to know how to do that, so not the end of the world. And select team members, Tess Johnson. There he is. All right, perfect. We're going to assign him to the calendar. We're going to call it intro call. So we're going to say Tess Johnson is our appointment setter. 1, 2, 3 booking, and then crazy that that was actually available. Nope, don't care about previewing the calendar. Now we have a calendar, which is great that people can book onto. And I can click these 3 dots if I want to. I can click the share button and I can actually copy this down to paste it somewhere, or I can even embed it to my website if I wanted to. Good additional information. But main reason why we did that is so we can go back to automations. We go to our thing here that we created. We're going to create a workflow. We're going to select a recipe again because it's making me start from scratch and we love that. All right. And then we're going to call this intro call. And what the trigger is actually going to be, so we're going to delete this trigger here. I like it when the trigger is a result, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. So customer booked appointment is going to be the trigger, and the filter is going to be in calendar. Actually, let's do this instead. We're going to go appointment status, and appointment status is, let's say, confirmed, in calendar, intro call. Boom. We're going to save this, and now we're going to add a tag called scheduled, let's say. And that's going to create a new tag in this system. And then we're going to create our appointment reminder here. And it looks like it's going to wait for a response. What I would do in this scenario is this instead. I don't care if they reply. Actually, I do care sometimes, but to make it more simple, let's just say we add the tags so we know they're scheduled, right? We send like, hey, thanks for taking advantage of our offer. The next step is to book a quick consultation call. I get it. Okay. So we are going to remove this entirely. And we're going to say, hey, thanks for booking. Actually, one quick thing I just realized. So we are not going to save this, is I clicked the wrong thing. So we're going to delete both of these. Now you know how to delete a workflow. How fun is that? So hot lead, new lead, we're gonna create a workflow, select a recipe. Now we need to find, it looks like that appointment booking was trying to get them to book an appointment specifically. So what we're gonna do instead is, here we go, recipe, appointment confirmation, and reminder. So I, in fact, am an idiot, if you couldn't tell, and I was trying to move through this too quickly. So now we're gonna go intro call. So we're going to call this. The trigger is going to be appointment status is confirmed. And then we're going to put in calendar intro call. Beautiful. And we're going to save this. And now we have a confirmation email that's going to go out. We can also add some confirmation text messages. And then we have these wait periods where this time and I'll show you exactly how to create one of these. So let's say we create a wait period. And then you go to event. So it's waiting for an event or appointment time. That's how we create these. And what it's doing is 24 hours before the appointment, 1 hour before the appointment, where we're sending reminders, reminding them of their appointment and including any Zoom links or whatever it might be, or maybe your address if you're a brick and mortar, etc. So that is how we build out this portion. Okay, now just to reiterate a little bit and show you why we're doing what we're doing. Whenever we're running any type of lead generation or we're creating an acquisition system, we want little test lead here to go from stage to stage to stage without us having to manually drag them or move them. We want certain actions to trigger this person, so that we know exactly where they're at in the pipeline. This is going to make our lives 10 times easier. And then just an example of how we utilize this or how we leverage this specifically. If I have someone that's in hot leads, this means this person has actually responded to one of our text messages, right? So I would click on this contact and I would go into their contact card specifically. So click on their name here. And what I can do is actually make a phone call to this person because I know that they're a higher priority lead. So this is why it's important to know where someone is at in your sales pipeline. All right, and then just a couple of final pieces to the puzzle here. So if you go to settings and then we go to calendars, and let's go ahead and start editing one of these calendars. We want to make sure that we edit all of our availability. And then in forms and payment, we can actually attach forms that will additionally qualify the person to the calendar itself, which is actually really cool. So for example, if I go to our website and I look at how our calendar is set up, this will give you a perfect example. So you go to, click on a time that works best for you. And then you have this form. We have to get answers to all of these questions before this person is able to move forward in the sales process, right? So this is exactly what we're setting up here. And this is what I would set up if I were you. This makes everybody's life significantly easier. What you can do is actually go to settings and you can create a form. If you go to sites, forms, builder, and then you add a form, you can actually select from a few different templates as well, which is pretty cool. And it gives you a pretty good stock form as well, I would say. So that is going to make the booking process a lot more user-friendly, and it will make them, because you want your nurture cadences to do part of the work, but you also want to give people the opportunity to walk themselves onto your calendar. And the more user-friendly it is, the easier it is for someone to actually do that. All right, guys, hopefully that was helpful. I know that was extremely basic, but if I had a business starting from scratch, and I get a lot of people that reach out to me that are starting at this level and they go high level is just a little bit overwhelming. They don't know where to start. This is at least where I would begin to have some sort of a sales process to implement like my lead generation campaigns into, so I can start being confident that everything is going to do what it's supposed to do. If you have the calendar, you have the pipelines created, one pipeline created, the pipeline stage is created, and then the automations that are associated to that is the perfect start. And then from that point forward, you can continue to learn and what else Go High Level can do. And it can do like a million things, and you can continue to expand on that. But if I was starting a business, this is exactly where I would start. I would kind of just put the pieces together in the beginning, and hopefully this is helpful. If you look in the description below, you'll see that we actually have a 100% free Skool community. I have a lead generation course, a bunch of other courses in there that are 100% free. The community itself is free as well. I also provide help on group calls, etc. There's also going to be a link below to create your own conversational AI chatbot and install it within GoHighLevel. If you're not a GoHighLevel user, I will also have an affiliate link below that will give you a 30-day free trial, I believe. So if you go directly to their website, they give you a 14-day. I'm going to double that for you if you use my link below. So hopefully this was helpful. Check out the next video, and we'll talk to you soon.